Hi there. I was fortunate enough to get access to LangSmith, early access. So LangSmith is a LLM interface management tool, web-based. That's an extension from LangChain. So LangSmith is not a LLM or Gen app flow builder. Flowwise and Langflow are probably the two most well-known flow builders. But LangSmith is really an tool to optimize your LangChain's interaction with large language models. Within the comments, I'll add a link to this article. So I start the article by just illustrating where LangSmith fits in. So basically, you've got your large language models. LangSmith is a large language model call, debugging, tracing, and monitoring tool. Then you have test data curation and evaluation, prompt management, optimization. There are quite a few tools out there, Vellum, Baseplate, quite a few others. And then generative AI app and flow builders like LangFlow, Flowwise, and there are a few others as well. This image gives you a basic idea of how the LangSmith interaction works. So you'll have your LangChain applications. In a minute, I'll show you the code how you can add tags to submit data to your LangSmith projects, and then users can access those metrics within LangSmith, via their browser. I also go through a few key considerations because there are so many developments in terms of large language model applications, and the ambit of the LLM providers are also expanding. So I just make a point here that if a company does not have an astute um, user experience and not solving a specific problem and not adequate intellectual property or proprietary functionality, then there's a great chance that they might be superseded by these products coming out. The basic interface of LangSmith is projects and also the data component. At the bottom, you can manage your API keys, you can access documentation, and also manage your user credentials, create new models, and so on. So also once you've created the model, then LangSmith takes you through a process how to embed the calls within LangChain. So you can configure your LangSmith environment within LangChain. Here I have the basic, most shortest code you can have to have a LangChain application submitting information to a LangSmith project. So this is really just a single LLM call with a question. You basically only need a LangSmith access and then open AI API key. And then once that application run, you can see here there are two run types currently, chains. So chains are also, um, in the case of agents, autonomous agents, also create a chain. If it says LLM, it's basically a single LLM call. And here you can see if the call was successful, you can see the latency, the input, the start time, and also how many tokens were used. In the top, you see the P50 and the P99 latency and the total tokens. So this is a very, very good interface to manage your cost. If we drill down, you see the LLM, for the single call, 17 prompt tokens were used and 82 completion tokens. You see the question I asked and the response from the large language model. This can also be opened in a playground mode. The playground currently is only available for OpenAI. I can create a data set, I can manually rate this call, or I can share it. So sharing, basically, you share a publicly available URL and someone can log in, or actually just click on the URL and then view the LangSmith detail. This is a screen of the playground. You can see the chat OpenAI models are listed here. You can you've got the different settings here. There's also a setting for function calls, the human input, and the model response. So I can add messages, I can submit messages from here. I can also edit these messages again, write my call, write the run, and edit it. Just moving on to prompt chaining. Again, in this article, I've got the complete code you'll need. You can just copy and paste this into a notebook. This is the complete code to run a LangChain agent and then have that agent submit key metrics to LangSmith. In this um, application, I ask a slightly ambiguous question. What's the year of birth of the man who's commonly regarded as the father of the iPhone? And it comes back with an answer. And here you can see it looks a bit different. You put the chain, and within that chain, there was a single LLM call. And in this case, I used the Hugging Face Hub, making use of a Google large language model. You can see the latency, the tokens, and then also I can see the prompt and the completion, the run, there's metadata, and you've got more information on the right here. So especially if you've got an autonomous agent with numerous tools and those tools interface to different APIs and models, you can really have a breakdown here of what's happening internally in that tool and which models are being called. And then this is just more of a drill down into the trace, the question, the answer, and then the metadata that comes with that call. And this is basically an article I'll post within the next few minutes on Medium, and in the comments I'll add the link to the article if you want to read it and start experimenting. Thanks.